piacere, scrivimi quando arrivi. Ti scrivo quando arrivi. Sicuro, sicuro.
Hi guys, and welcome to today's vlog. Today I'm going to be taking a train to Harold and Wealdstone. Now I'm going to try and take the Lioness line, or if not I'll take the Northwestern line. Either way, come along with me, and before anything else, let's crack on. Right, okay, so we're going into Euston station. I ain't been to this station for years above ground. It's all changed. As you can see, you come out, I've seen the underground next to me, but if you will, you've got Nando's and everything else. You've got the information board up there. And there's the underground station now. So this building used to go right out across, and then you just walk straight out into the street, but now they've updated it, and now you've got an outside area with shops, restaurants, obviously the tube or the underground, and obviously the mainline station over there. So, lioness line is platform 9 at 9:55, and if I'm going to get the Great Northern Western, maybe from platform 11. So let's go in. I could have gone for a link tunnel from the underground, but I chose to come up this way, folks, because I heard about the improvements for Euston station, and I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an intel look. The pharmacy, Smiths, so you've got a big board there. Got a food terrace upstairs. Screens everywhere, folks, so there's more information going on. You can get your Advantage West Coast train from here, going to Liverpool, Blackpool, Manchester, Chester, Scotland. Okay, so
just to get there with that.
right, okay, folks. So talking a bit lower tone now because I'm on the actual train. I thought, yeah, as of my original plan, I'm going to get the Lioness line, which is part of the overground network, from here in Euston up to Harold and Wealdstone. This train does go all the way to Watford Junction, but it will go out the zones, and then obviously A, I'd have to pay more, and B, I've got to think about the time of getting back, because as you appreciate, guys, when I do most of these vlogs, unless it's a biggie one sort of thing, obviously I'm doing it within school hours, so I need to be back in time to pick up my children. So anyway, so we're just waiting for the train to depart, folks. So sit back and relax. Right, so the voice on here, as we call them, is basically just announced that it's heading to Watford Junction, which means it's not far from getting ready to leave. Typical journey time is about an hour and 15 minutes, I believe, hour and 20 minutes to Watford Junction, but the ride I'm taking is going to take about 50 minutes, 50. So the train's filling up a bit more.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Oh, and behind me there,
Yes.
there's a West Midlands Railway train. Just thought I'd throw that one in there, guys.
Baby, do whatever you need, and you think it's correct, and after we can change whatever.
So I just showed you the maps.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're off.
I'm going. One stop and I'm going to the office. I need to call also the handlership.
This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction.
Okay.
The next stop is South Hampstead. Change here for Jubilee line services.
See the Advantage West Coast trains there, folks. See if I can zoom in to get out of the window.
Yeah, good morning. Can I speak to Jack, please?
You can see there's a lot of works going on here to extend the station, make it bigger, to get it ready for the HS2. I believe behind that hoarding is going to be the platforms for the HS2. Just showing you there, folks.
Hi Jack, hi, good morning. Okay, so I need to come on Wednesday, yeah?
Okay, so we're going to sort of go underground, even though it's on the Lioness Overground Line train.
Can you let me know because
Because then when we come back up on the opposite side.
Yeah, I discussed with Mike. The only thing is remain is the car. The car can bring it the day that you load it, is okay? Or
So the next stop after South Hampstead is Kilburn High Road.
the only thing that I'm worried, I have my, I loaded with stuff inside and on top. Yes, can you hear me? Jack? Yes, can you hear me now?
So update, Piccadilly line's part suspended, but good service on the rest of the lines.
Sorry, the service is not good today.
Okay, folks, I'll come back to you when we come back above ground.
Hampstead.
Okay, so they've just announced South Hampstead, so we'll be coming back up above ground. Or straight out the tunnel, whichever way you want to look at it. So, yeah. And then you can change for the Jubilee line here at South Hampstead.
This is a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction.
So I can feel mostly on this house. No one's really on
This
this
is
train.
a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Kilburn High Road.
So I say I can now film properly. I didn't think anyone wanted to see mostly tunnel. So yeah, so thankfully there's no one sitting opposite me or within the same area, so to speak, or this portion of the train, so I can film freely. As you know, folks, I respect everyone's privacy, so if anyone else was to sit in that area,
The
then I
next
film
stop
myself.
is Kilburn High Road.
So Kilburn High Road. Don't forget, these lines used to belong to British Rail, or and known as nowadays as National Rail. But because it's a bit run down and grubby and all that, Transport for London took them over and gave them a good makeover. And I think they've done a pretty damn good job from what I've seen.
To Watford Junction.
There goes the inviting West Coast service, Bendelino. We're already moving up the line.
This is a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Queen's Park.
So Queen's Park, as you famously know,
Change here for Bakerloo line services.
you change for the Bakerloo. And this part of the line is where it actually shares the tracks here on in afterwards, all the way up to Harold and Wealdstone, where I'll be getting up a part of this journey. A London North Western train going past. And another London North Western. Off to Crewe.
The next stop is Queen's Park. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
There you go, see the 72 stock and the Bakerloo line.
Queen's Park. This is a Lioness Line.
There's more
train
people
to
boarding the train now,
Watford
so
Junction.
rest of this journey, unless it becomes vacant again, I will be filming on myself.
This is a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Kensal Green.
As I say, so we're now sharing tracks with the Bakerloo line. Or will be momentarily. I see the 72 stock. Right, someone was asking for directions, so I paused the video. So yeah, so like I was saying, we are now actually sharing tracks with the Bakerloo line underground, all the way up now. And obviously the Bakerloo line only goes as far as Harold and Wealdstone.
The next stop is Kensal Green.
Kensal Green, put my teeth back in, Kensal Green coming up.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
As I was going to say, there's a bit of history on that. There goes 72 stop. Yeah, they used to run up to Watford Junction 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, and then they cut the services back to Stonebridge Park, but they reinstated it up to Harold and Wealdstone in the 1980s. Obviously, correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong.
Kensal Green. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction.
Okay. So.
This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Willesden Junction.
Okay.
Change here for the Mildmay line and Bakerloo line services.
As she just said, says be speaking. This tunnel footage. I must admit, all the years ago when I had pen friends around the country and I used to get the high-speed trains out of Euston to go up north or west or wherever, I always wanted to ride this line and I never got a chance to, well, until today, folks. So, as I say, the channel can't go up to Watford Junction for many a reason. One, time scale, and two, when it gets outside the zones, that's when it starts becoming a bit more pricey. But as you guys know, when I do the big ones, that's when I then do the bit further out.
The next stop is Willesden Junction.
Okay, so that's the overground that way. Or one and many. Situated here at Willesden Junction end. Excuse me.
Willesden Junction. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction.
It's very interesting to know about that these tracks are basically run on third and fourth rail. Fourth rail being for the underground trains and third rail being for the overground trains.
This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Willesden. Exit for Central Middlesex Hospital.
Okay, so we're coming to Willesden. I paused the video there because we're slowing right down. My potential risk of obviously there might be a 72 stop underground train Bakerloo line in front of us. I suppose that's the only thing about sharing tracks, they have to time it out evenly, otherwise one of the trains has to be held up. And that the overground trains go a bit quicker than the 72 stops.
Harleston. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Stonebridge Park.
So you see there the old Class 321 trains that used to run on the line to Birmingham New Street and Crewe. And then no longer obviously run because obviously a train that took over. I guess it sits there for spare parts, which is used as pure emergency maybe, who knows.
The next stop is Stonebridge Park.
Depending their parts up.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
They're doing sleeper flights beyond the station wall. Okay, train's filling up, so back to filming myself.
Stonebridge Park. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Wembley Central.
Obviously, as you all know, Wembley
Change
Central.
here for National Rail Services.
And the famous
Exit
Wembley
for
Stadium.
the National Stadium and Wembley Arena.
There you go. I was trying to say it, but got overspoken to by an AI voice. The irony of it all, folks. Another little tunnel. So we're going out into the it's a heavy housing area now, folks.
The next stop is Wembley Central. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Watford Junction.
Okay, so we're now leaving Wembley Central.
This is a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is North Wembley. The next stop is North Wembley.
North Wembley is just basically a residential
Mind the
area.
gap between the train and the platform.
Like I said, the further you go out, you'll see more of it just being residential areas and stuff. Picture there, folks. Free Wi-Fi. Try to catch it in.
North Wembley. This is a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction.
Right, okay, so we're at North Wembley. I think there's only a few more stops to go to Harold and Wealdstone.
This is a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is South Kenton.
So next stop's South Kenton, then Kenton, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it should be Harold and Wealdstone.
The next stop is South Kenton. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. South Kenton.
That's South
This
Kenton.
is a Lioness Line train to Watford
But I can't
Junction.
get a visual of a rounder. Is there one outside the door there? No. But yeah, South Kenton, folks.
This is a Lioness Line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Kenton.
Yep, like I said, next stop's Kenton.
Change here for Metropolitan Line services.
Oh yeah, in other words, is the where you tap out and then you tap in at nearest station, which I think is Harrow, I think, and you don't get charged separate fares. Quite handy to know.
The next stop is Kenton. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
On the other side, folks. Again, can't get a clear visual on
Kenton. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. This is a Lioness line train to Watford Junction. The next stop is Harrow and Wealdstone. Change here for National Rail Services.
And obviously this is where we'll be alighting, folks. It's about another 4 stops to Watford Junction after this, but I will tick this off as saying that I've done the lioness line, just like I've done the is it the May line, I think it is, and the other line that goes down to Barking. I've done them 3 lines. If you want to see more content of me doing the London Overground, please leave a comment in the section box down below.
The next stop is Harold and Wealdstone.
Okie dokie. And this is Harold and Wealdstone station on the outside, folks. As you can see, just take you straight into the housing area. I'll take it the main roads over in that direction over there. Get a shot of that. Right guys, well if you enjoyed today's vlog of me travelling on the Lioness line from London Euston all the way up to Harold and Wealdstone, which is basically just over 3/4 of the line. Don't forget to like, subscribe, push that little notification bell for when I'm releasing future videos similar to this one and other content on my channel. Until the next time guys, crack on, bye bye.